Hey, what is up YouTube? I'm back again with another review. So today we'll be taking a look at this US military snake bite kit. But before we get into that, I want to share some of the other things that I got at my trip to the antique store. I'll stop there often, but I generally don't buy too much. But this time there was a lot of great things that I just couldn't pass up. And one of them was this. So if you guys have seen some of my older content, you know that I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and of course growing up in the early 2000s there weren't any Ghostbuster toys around. I'd have to get lucky and buy them off of eBay, but they costed an arm and a leg. So this is an original 80s one, still in its package. Now this figure wasn't that popular to begin with, so it's actually not really worth that much at all. But it was only $10, and I've never owned a sealed original one before, so figured I'd have to pick it up. It was about this time last year that I was able to finally buy the Ghostbusters Firehouse playset. That was another big one that I always wanted as a kid, but never was able to, just because of how expensive they are. But my parents did get me that one, and of course the Proton pack. But I ended up with a lot of these random loose figures. But this was still a great piece to finally add to the collection. Another item. So I don't think I've ever talked much about this, but way back in the day, me and my brother used to be really big Michael Jackson fans. And this was all even before that he died. About 2 years before he died is when we really got into Michael Jackson. So when he did die, it was genuinely devastating and surprising to hear about, but I came across this. So this is a 1984 Michael Jackson doll in his Grammys outfit. And the crazy thing is that if you take off his glasses, it even looks like Michael Jackson. I was amazed that he still had his glove too. But yeah, so I got this for my brother. I mean, we're both huge Michael Jackson fans, but he was a little bit bigger fan than I was. I mean, he had bought reproduction jackets and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this was too cool to pass up. Another interesting piece that I picked up was this. This is a framed display of Pine Ridge Indian Police. And for those of you who don't know what the Indian Police is, I'll give you a kind of a general background of them. So basically, they were organized in 1880 by John Q. Tuffets. Basically, many of these Indian police officers were given deputy U.S. Marshal commissions that would allow them to cross jurisdictional boundaries and also arrest non-Indians. They also had other types of Indian police. There was Indian tribal police, and they also had Indian agency police. Since many tribes had no recognizable governments and therefore no tribal laws, on these reservations the Indian agent assigned to the tribe hired Indian police from among the tribal members to effect law and order according to federal agency and treaty rules. These were considered federally appointed police officers. Unfortunately, those would be the same Indian police responsible for the death of Sitting Bull. But nonetheless, really great. So this next piece is going to be the snake bite kit, or the main focal point of the review. So this one is manufactured by MSA. You can see the US federal stock number, snake bite kit. Just a basic small plastic kit. You could fit this in a compass first aid pouch very easily. Opening it up, you get instructions plastered to the inside or glued in so you can't lose them. A cutting tool, iodine swab, your suction plunger. Basically just turn it like that. Your suction cup, tourniquet, suction cup base, and an ammonia inhalant, and grease. So basically what you would do is you would, if somebody got bit by a snake, to use this kit, you would crush this ampule, the iodine one, swab the affected area, put a small, if I could get this open to show you guys, very small cut into both of the fang connections, or wounds, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And then you'd apply the tourniquet above the bite and basically stick your suction cup into the suction cup connector, and then connect it to your suction cup syringe, and basically just put it against your skin or the bite and suck the venom out. And if they were unconscious, you would use the ammonia inhalant to wake them up. That is very, very outdated. You can still find kits very similar to this out on the market today. Usually just the suction cups, though. I actually just went through a refresher course on how to handle snake bites. And that sort of thing. And basically, as far as regular run of the normal civilians with no medical background, nowadays the recommended thing is basically just cover the snake bite with just a very loose bandage. If it's on a limb, put the limb in its position of use, and rapid transport to the hospital. As far as EMS goes, though, if you're with a paramedic, they may be able to provide some drugs, but as for an EMT, basically the same thing, except monitor the patient's vitals and watch for any airway obstructions. Maintaining the airway is the most important thing that you could do until you get to the hospital, really. So these kits, like I said, are outdated. They don't recommend you do any of this these days. They've found all of this is very ineffective, but companies will still sell the suction cup kits. Those are garbage. Don't buy them. Don't waste your money. Don't waste the space in your 24-hour bag or first aid kit or whatever. Just, if you do have one, stick it next to your pneumatic pants or anti-shock pants, because they're not useful. So nowadays these are a little bit of a novelty, but I thought, since it was a complete kit and I had just taken the refresher course, that I would pick this up and do a review of it for you guys. I'm not entirely sure if this would have been issued out probably just to a single medic, but yeah. So we still use these today, still use the ammonia inhalants. Where I work at a inter-facility EMT position, we have a lot of clientele who like to fake medical emergencies, a lot of pseudo seizures, stuff like that. So these, I mean, we go through these like a kid go through candy. I mean, yeah, it's pretty fun to use them. But yeah, so that's just kind of a basic review of this. Another thing that I'd recommend you do is get familiar with the venomous snakes in your area. For instance, where I live, the only venomous snake that we have that's native to here is the prairie rattlesnake. That's the only one that we have out in the wild. You may have, well, there is one place, a reptile zoo that has tons of different snakes, but where they are, you'd basically have to be trying to get bit, and that goes for the prairie rattlesnake too. Most of the snake bites that we get in our area are people who are messing with this snake. Very rarely do people get bit by a snake and have it be an accident. So that's kind of the plus side, since we only have one. So if you get a good look at it or you hear it, then you would know what type it is. Another common myth is that EMS, or you have to take the snake to the hospital so that they can determine what kind of snake it is. They don't teach that anymore, so don't do it. If you're hanging out with a group of friends and one of you gets bit, don't go near the snake. If it makes you feel better, take a picture of it, but don't try and kill it or take it with you or give it to the ambulance crew. That's putting you in danger, and that's putting the ambulance crew in danger, so don't do it. But so yeah, just a lot of common myths surrounding snake bites and how to handle them, but like I said, this is just a review of this. Honestly, like I said again, don't buy them. Don't buy the new ones thinking that you're gonna save somebody. It's not effective. So anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comment section below. And as always, have a nice day.